Have you ever wondered how you can either double a recipe or cut a recipe in half when using your Instant Pot? Don't worry, I know how to do it and I'm going to teach you how. Stick with me. What is up, you guys? It is Karli here and you are officially cooking with Karli. One of the most frequently asked questions I get as a food blogger is, how do I double your recipe? Or it's only me, or it's just me and my husband and we don't need all of this food. How can I cut it in half? And it seems a little complicated because you don't know, do you have to double the cook time too? And there's just a few things that go into how you double a recipe. But it's actually pretty simple once you get down the basic concepts. So the first thing we need to talk about is the cook time will stay the same. You don't need to double your cook time if you're doubling the ingredients. There is only one exception to that rule, and that's if you are using a large cut of meat, say like a large pot roast or something like that. Your recipe calls for a 3-pound pot roast, but you are having a big family dinner, so you need 6 pounds. You're not going to want to just buy a 6-pound roast and cook it for the same cook time. You need the exact ingredients. So you'll want 2 3-pound roasts. So you're doubling the exact ingredients. Does that make sense? That way the cook time can stay the same. When doubling all of your ingredients, that does include the liquid also. So if you're making a pasta recipe, do you need to double the liquid too? Yes, you need to double all of those ingredients. The only exception to that rule is if you are doing hard-boiled eggs or baked potatoes or something like that, where the liquid is just used to bring the pot to pressure, then you don't need to double that liquid. One thing to be cautious about when you do double a recipe is that sometimes your recipe will tend to spit out of the top of the vent when you're releasing the pressure, just because there's more food in there than the recipe has been tested for. So just keep an eye on it, stay close to your Instant Pot, and if, more things than just steam start coming out of your vent, just quickly close the vent with like the back of a spoon or something like that, and just let your Instant Pot chill for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you can try releasing that pressure again. One thing to keep in mind when doubling your recipe too is that it can take longer for your Instant Pot to initially come to pressure than if you are just making the normal recipe. That's just because there's more contents inside of your Instant Pot, which means that it just takes longer for everything to heat up, boil, and for your Instant Pot to come to pressure. Before we get to talking about how to half a recipe, do me a favor and like this video, comment down below, and let me know if you generally, dang you, Instant Pot. Now let's talk about halving your recipe. Halving your recipe is pretty simple. You basically just half all of those ingredients and the cook time will stay the same. One thing to be careful about is that you do need to have the minimum amount of liquid in your Instant Pot just for it to work and be able to come to pressure. For an 8-quart, that's 1.5 cups of liquid. For a 6-quart, that's 1 cup of liquid. And for the 3-quart, it's in between like 3/4 of a cup to a cup. I generally try to keep a cup of liquid in the bottom of my 3-quart also. With some recipes, this may cause a little bit of issues because there will be more liquid than it needs to be. So in that case, I usually just recommend cooking the full batch and then freezing some for later or eating it as leftovers. Besides that, you should be able to have any of your recipes without any issues. Just half the ingredients, keep the cook time the same. I hope this video has helped you be able to customize recipes for your family so they're the perfect serving size. If you are looking for more videos in regards to your Instant Pot and how it works, or your Instant Pot lingo, definitely check out my other Instant Pot videos. There's a lot of great stuff in there.